All
Yeah, we're
right.
gonna keep that energy.
Yes.
So,
So we are live right now. For those who know you or do not know you, please introduce yourself.
all right, I'm gonna give you my government, and then I'm gonna give you my artist name. Okay. For
Yeah.
those who know me as Jason Van Doyman, aka Rudebwoy Ecco, and I always say, if you don't know now, you don't know. See,
Woo! Yes.
let's go,
Listen.
let's go.
Yep. Yo, man. First of all, look, Rudeboy Echo got some history, y'all. Let me let you know, bro. He was one of the when I went to the Zanzibar. Even when I first got there, he was one of the bouncers at the Zanzibar. Um, pardon me. We was also like brothers on MTV too. We did the
Uh,
MTV thing,
uh,
and Root Boy Echo has a unique dance style. Always has, you know. And this is the
uh,
great thing about it. And it was a blessing to see you and check with you all the stuff that you were doing in the clubs and stuff like that. And I always love the respect that you got. And one thing that's really important is you represented Jersey. So you
uh.
definitely represented Jersey to the fullest. And yeah.
Well, you know me. For me, Jersey is in the heart because that's where I reside. You know, when first we were in Brooklyn. You know, well, first, Paris, Guyana, Brooklyn, Jersey. That's how
Hmm.
I ended up there. So, but Jersey has always been the heart and, where we put the foundation. And that's where I got my musical growth, I call it, you know,
Yeah.
with my family, father playing the records, the downstairs with doing the old school nights and stuff like that with his friends and this and that, and I listening to the tunes and everything, So
Yeah.
I got a healthy variety of music as I grew up. I learned to play the piano, so that was one of the things. Wouldn't follow nobody else's music though, because I wanted to make my own. So that's it.
Right,
But
right.
instruments. I just, my mother gave me a healthy variety. I was able to do a lot of things. So with that, that spawned me into me being me, growing up, and then just going into dancing, you know. I tell people now when I look back at it, it was fun, but it was still kind of warfare because everybody was trying to make like something for themselves, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
who you, you know. Well, I'm gonna give you this first instance, like big up to Candace Holmes. She was my elementary school teacher, and she
Uh-huh.
saw the talent in me, and she was the one that started me off. So I remember she was doing a play, and it was based on the Saturday Night Fever, right?
Uh-huh.
So he wanted me to dance on. See, I'm a young kid, got me all dressed up in the suit and everything, and this and that. She said, "All right, I want you to go backwards, moonwalk and do all this craziness and this and that." And I never forgot it. That was my first debut, being on a stage in front of all these people watching me doing my thing. And I got the bug right there. After that, I was just like, "Let's go," you
Yo,
know.
shout out to Michael Jackson because this is the second time today he got mentioned, or even just doing the moonwalk and everything like that.
Who
Yeah,
did create it though is the brother from Shalimar. I forget his name. So we gotta really give it to who
yeah,
created. Yeah,
yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
Everybody want to keep saying, "Oh, Michael Jackson." No, 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 no. I do the history. I'm a history buff. It's the guy from Shalimar, one of the members. He created it, showed Michael, and then that's how Michael figured out how to do it.
Okay.
So that's how. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
tell
there you go.
them, Jules. Yo, okay,
No, I
so
gotta give it.
yeah, 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 that's right. Yo, so offline the other day, huh? Go ahead.
No, no, you to go on, and I'm gonna talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so the other day offline we were talking, man. We was talking. I want to get into the juicy stuff, man. Let's just get into the to the to
Okay,
the
go
to
ahead.
the yeah.
Right,
Let's just go up
right.
into it.
I have
Jer-
to.
Jersey representing up in New York, the battlefield of the clubs were the battlefields. The clubs were the battlefield. The
That
dancing was crazy. It was still a little bit of competitiveness to it. We know it's love. We know house is about love. But tell us about that part, man, because
mm,
you said you was dropping some stuff. You're like, what? We was going up in there. We was trying to wreck shop, man. Trying to take heads too with the dance.
no,
So
well, I, it wasn't, you know, Jersey and New York was still, it was always a battlefield, but it was like, love, but it was back then, it
yeah,
was still like, yo, You rep your crew, I rep my crew, and stuff like that. So it wasn't, it was like when I saw what I had to deal with, I said, yeah, I gotta work.
Yeah,
Because in
yeah, yeah,
Jersey, heads knew me, and I was growing up, so I thought I was like, okay, I was the shit. I was like, all right, Brethren doing this thing, okay, everything is cool, you know. I thinking I'm cool with my people, and even Jersey was worse because you had little crews that was coming at you, and at the time I had my cousin Marvin
yeah,
Jarvis, who's from Guyana too, and he used to go to Latin Quarters and go all the clubs. I was still a shorty, so I wasn't really getting into those spots just yet. So he would come back, show me moves, and I would, mimic it and then try to change it up because I was always about to change up. So he would bring me, and then at the time I was going to Essex Catholic, we used to have parties, and that's when you really saw it because cats would come in from different crews and want to battle and this and that. And back then, this is like pre-house, like real early, but we were doing the switching of
hmm,
the legs and stuff like that, and they would come hard, man. It was like, whew, you really had to be in shape to really, really go at these cats. But it was still love. It wasn't like
yeah,
because it
yeah,
was still Jersey. So, but then when I saw people who were going into New York from Jersey, then I know, okay, I gotta be careful because these guys are seeing stuff that I'm not really seeing. So I had to depend on my cousin to really show me and tell me stuff, you know,
yeah,
because he was already in the clubs. And like I said, I was a shorty, I couldn't get in. So at the time, he was really bringing it back to me and was like, yo, this, let me show you this and this and that. See how you want to flip it. And, Reggie showing me different ways to adjust. So, okay, now finally out of high school, you know, you have parties like Ego Trip and Wild Pitch and all these other parties that were happening and springing up. And I was
hmm,
starting to make my way into New York heavy. So I finally go to like these parties and I finally see certain dances, right? I saw Voodoo Ray, Ejo Khalif, um, Geoff. He's another dancer that a lot of people don't mention.
okay,
Um, there was a couple cats, Link, a lot of people, because we all going to the same parties, like Red Zone, stuff like that. But I remember this one party I went to was at the Octagon. And
and I heard
it was
about
like
that
watching,
place. Whew.
yeah, Octagon had the floors that it looked like just like a straight octagon, straight up. So I remember I stepped by the circle and I see everybody going at it. And I was like, okay. It was like watching what was that movie where you saw the different karate styles of was it Five Fingers of Death? No, not Five Fingers of Death. Five Deadly Venoms.
Yeah,
This person had this style, this person had this style, and I was like blown away. So I was like, okay, this is new for me, right? So I had to absorb it, but then I knew, okay, I gotta work because if I'm gonna be able to go against that or have that energy to be, I gotta stay in the midst of it all the time. So
yeah,
I had my little job, got that cash, boom, 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 and then I was still doing stuff in Jersey because I had my crew there that was DJing. I would buy records for them. So because I wanted them to break house records in the hood, like, yo, you don't have this, it's an import. Big
yeah,
up to Moving Records. My job used to be right across the street from Moving Records. So I get paid. I was working at Otis Man shop. I get paid, get some $40, went to the store, like, hey, give me all the new stuff. Play it for me. I want to hear it so, I can absorb it because
yeah,
I was so into the music and I wanted to expose it so badly. So I got my crew. They were playing reggae and house. So we do a
hmm,
little house party. Big up to Leon Willis. He was one of my brethren. And, so I was going back and forth. But on the New York side, it was still absorbing, going to the parties and, just trying to make my way and just make a, name for it. So then coming back to Jersey now, you had Zanzibar. So in Zanzibar, we were doing stuff and, getting our little buzz going. I had my crew, Ezra Polo, the whole Polo crew and stuff like that. We was all, partying together. And then I met up with Chris Flowers, So Chris was a big catalyst on my journey because he was part of that garage crew,
Yeah.
and he told me lots of stuff, and he took me under his wing. And I'm forever grateful for that, because with him, he was the link in the bridge to a lot of other things. So I had an upper hand on knowing what they were getting from like Basil, Frank, and stuff from over in New York. Because
Yeah.
they were learning, they were hip hop kids, but then they went into house and they were learning house stuff and mixing it up. So they were picking up stuff and utilizing it in the movements that they were doing and stuff like that. So we always had older G's that were representing for us and
Right.
really giving the whole background. So it then it was a club. Well, let me tell you this. Let me jump back real quick. There was a club around from where I worked at on Central Avenue in Jersey called Club 88,
Yeah.
right?
Club 88.
Right. So there you saw a lot of heads that were going into New York who were coming into the club. So there used to be, I say, early like hip house, stuff like that. I'm still watching the videos, trying to pick up and, see little things and this and that. My cousin bringing me stuff and this and that. I felt like I was missing something. And then it was that one night. And I remember it was big up to my brethren Brandon. Him and his crew, they always was in New York all the time. So they came back with all the new stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yo, Brent's about to get it in. You don't know, nice with this stuff, right? And then they break it on me, doing the backflips into the dives and this. And I'm like, what the? I see this. What's going on, right? And they got me that night. And ever since
Yeah.
that night, I said, they're never gonna get got like that again, right? Love you, Brandon. So, all them, and they really gave it to me. So what happened was I said, all right, I need to really keep my head in New York and really see what's going on and get that energy. So
Yeah.
now fast forward, Chris Flowers, all that crew, Joey, everybody. So we all had that connect where we were going in the city and seeing stuff and doing stuff and dancing and this and that. So how Voodoo Ray came into the picture was I used to see him a lot, not only in the club, but on videos.
Yeah.
And it was him and Ejo, because he took Ejo under his wing and he was doing videos with him and stuff like that. So it was crazy. My sister was going to school in New York at the time at St. John's, but she
Right.
didn't school. So she all of a sudden she's his roommate. Like out of the blue, she goes, "Oh yeah, me and Voodoo is roommates." I said, "What? Voodoo Ray? What are you talking about, Voodoo Ray? No. This is the same dude I've seen on videos of this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we coming to the house. He gonna come chill for a bit over the weekend." So I'm like running around the house like, "Oh shit, is the place clean?" you know, and it's crazy. Voodoo sleeping in my den, right? My family house den, right? Knocked out because I guess they partied the night before or whatever, this and that. And I
Yeah.
peeked in the theory is, Gretchen's in the house. Yo, I said, and I could cook. So I was like, at the time, I'm a vegetarian now, but back then I was making like chicken burgers and this and that. So I was like, I make him something good, and get the bread just started. Because I really wanted to impress him and tell
Yeah.
him, look, I really need to do what I'm gonna do in this scene, right? So, he sized me up while he came outside and I said, respect, how you doing, Bridget? This and that. You hungry? I'm gonna feed you, whatever, this and that. And we chop it up. And he liked me and he said, all right, I see you really mean to do this. I said, yeah, Bridget, I'm really gonna come with So y'all I know y'all got y'all thing, y'all in it, but I'm really gonna come with this thing. I really mean you. So if you see me around, you know, just give me the love or whatever, this and that. Just keep me on point because I know you're an OG and you got the information. So, and he did, and he stuck to his word. So, okay, going to the battles. Let me get to that. I was working at Zanzibar at the time, but there was another club around the corner called Sterling's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that night we were in the club and they pop up. Sekou drove a van to Jersey, right?
Yeah.
And he had Khalif, him, and I forgot who else he was with him. And it was me, Joey, and a couple of other heads that was in
Yeah.
the club. And that night was epic because we were head to head. We was going hard. Boom, 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 boom. People was watching like, yo, these cats ain't playing. because we meant to let them know, like, we know you New York, but we Jersey. All right,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You know? So we really was going hard like that. Ray stepped back and watched the whole thing. He said, all right, come outside. Because he knew me and he had his people. He said, stop that. He said, I want you to introduce you to him and this and that, right? And we was all outside. And I said, no, I got love for them. It's just, it's a bravado. We just, what's the name? But it's love. Because
Yeah.
they inspire us and, and stuff like that. So he said, I know that, but he said, I don't want y'all doing that no more. He said, because he knew the business that we were in, and he knew that they can exploit us, and he didn't want us to be divided,
Right,
because we're
right.
so close. It's Jersey and New York, we're that close. So he
Yeah.
didn't want us to be divided, so he wanted us to come together and, know each other and give each other mutual respect. We pounded down, we was like, yeah, no problem. And that's how we've been tight ever since, we've been cool and everything, and that's how we bridged the gap. But then, okay, my other brother, Ejo, I used to go against him. And he used to get me every time. I mean, to me, he was a little friend for me. So it was like, he worked on his craft to perfection. He was always somebody who was always constantly working on it. Like his passion, like I know, like people, they saw Ejo, maybe late 90s or whatever, videos and stuff like that. But I was in the club with him. So I saw things that he probably didn't even know that he showed a lot of people. So, but I still said I was going to do it. We're going to go battle or whatever. And it wasn't really a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
battle.
Just showing your skills. Yeah, yeah. It's an
Yeah,
exchange showing your skills.
the Virgin got me. He went, all he had to do was hit me with the one arm flip. Boom. Got me. He hit it about, I remember what club I was at. And he hit me on it about maybe 2-3 times, right? And I was all like, shoot, damn, I ain't flipping yet. So, all right, there you go. And then he just was like, okay, what you gonna do? I said, all right, that's cool. So I said, okay, fine. So then start working on all that stuff and doing it in a certain way. So,
Oh, your camera's moving. Your camera's falling.
no, I got it.
Okay,
There we go.
cool.
Yeah, I got it. I make sure it's set up because I ain't got the anchor for it.
No problem. No
So,
problem.
okay. So yeah, so here it is now. Somewhere over here so I can get it.
It's all good.
Okay,
Slide it back a little bit. Tilt it up a little bit more. Tilt it up a little bit.
that's
Yeah, you
good.
should be. Yeah, you kind of took your head out of the picture.
Yeah, I know.
All
It's
right.
always technical difficulties, folks. We're gonna get it. There.
There we go. All right. Cool.
There we go.
Cool.
All right. So okay, good. So yeah. So okay, and he had his thing earlier. It's not like that now because he's in a different place now. But back then, he was very. He had that thing on his shoulder, like, yo, I don't like nobody dancing like me or doing stuff like me or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I remember my friend spoke to him one time and told me, he's like, nah, but the French got a lot of love for you. It's like, it's just imitation of flattery. That was his whole, trying to let him know that, nah, him is different because he's not taking your moves and doing them. He's actually taking your moves and trying to recreate it. Because that was always my thing.
Yeah.
For me, it was
Yeah.
like, because that's how it's always been. Okay, see somebody doing something, just make it your own. And that's what they're doing now. They're teaching people. It's like, okay, like if they teach people, learn it, but make it your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring
Try to
something.
figure out how you're gonna make it
Yeah,
different in display.
you didn't need a
Yeah.
whole bunch of Ejos and Khalifs and Joeys and me running around doing the same thing over and over because then they
Right.
just keep mimicking. You want them to take the movement and do their own thing and get that expression.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I always tell people, it's like, yeah, I see something that you do dope. I'm gonna say, okay, fine, I like that. I'm gonna take it and flip it. So
Yeah.
if you pivot left, I'm gonna pivot right, but I'm gonna do something with it so it'll be a different kind of, energy behind it. So you
Yeah.
can just, feel good to know, okay, I inspired that. I'm glad that he took it and make it his own and made it a part of his repertoire to give it a different language. And that's all it
Right.
is. It's just a different language coming from a different person. But still, it was, God bless the dead, Marjorie. She used to come at me hard. I remember, okay, I'll tell the story I was telling you the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so there was a club called Circles, right? Well, I don't think it was called Circles, but the party was called Circles because all the floors were circles, right? So I came with my crew and just, we dancing and this and that. This is before Marge had the dreads. She had a Pat Benatar kind of look, a hair with the fluff coming down and stuff like that. She used to wear this LaFon, uh, negligee and walk around and had the heels and this because she was a host. So I'm dancing, boom, 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 doing my thing or whatever, this and that. And she watching. So I sit back down with my crew. I guess I don't know if it was who was with me at the time. I don't know if it was from Polo crew or whatever, this and that, but we were all sitting down. And then she was walking like she was walking the runway back and forth, and she wanted me to hear her. She was all like, hate when moms be coming over here trying to do what we do and did it this and that, and she was walking back and forth. So we were looking like, oh shoot! Like I figured like I was in major trouble, but I didn't take it like that. I took it like, okay, I'm glad you watched. Because I'm coming.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah, yeah.
so that was my whole thing. So, but another sister, love her to death. We pieced that out, and we were family. I love her so much. And I miss her. That's my sister. And it was just, but those are the things I had to deal with, covered up. Because it was always like that. Cruise, and that's why I try to teach people now, and I share. I make sure I said, no, no, no. I don't care who you are. I'll give you an instance. I was in Miami one time for a Winter Music Conference, and there they know about house music at the time. I think it was 2009 or something like that.
Right.
And it was a cat that kept coming at me because he was more of a b-boy. But you hearing house music, but he battling like b-boy. So he'd do a flip or something, count it off like, see, I got him. 2. See, I got him. 3. So I'm looking at the other cats he's battling. I said, did he get what he's listening to? I said, maybe, and he's young. I said, let's teach him. So I go in the thing, I do my stuff, hit him with one move. And actually, I did it by mistake. So it was a move that I did by mistake. And everybody was like, where you from, Brooklyn? I ain't never seen that before. This and that. So he's now sitting down like, oh, shoot. He had that face. He had that look on his face like I had years ago when I saw new stuff. He's like, oh, I got to go back in the lab. But instead of having me feel that way, I came to the bridge and I said, come here, let me talk to you. I said, see this? House is about spiritual things, it's about sharing. So I'm going to share with you what you don't know. And he was forever appreciative of it. I still know the brethren now, forget his name, but he's real cool. And he said, yo, he said, thank you, man. I didn't think he was going to, because I came at you all aggressive. I said, I get it. You come from that battle world. But for me, this is about sharing. And that's what you're supposed to do. House is for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, whatever. I'm like I was telling one of my sisters the other day. I remember there was a sister. She had she was a burn victim, and she had like the vitiligo or whatever skin discoloration.
Yeah.
And she was nervous to dance in the party, right? Because she didn't think nobody would. And I said, "What? Come here, sister. You're gonna dance with me, right?" And I had her dance with me, and we danced for a long time. She said, and she was so grateful, and she said, "Thank you. I didn't think anybody would come dance with me, or that." I said, "No, no, no. See, this is family.
Yeah.
So we can treat you. We bring you in because we understand that there's people who are outcast and other things and different stuff. But house music is supposed to bring everybody together, and it's a love movement. That's on that whole thing. My foundation is with people. So I try to, keep the balance no matter what's going on in my life to keep that saying, nah, think differently. If you know better, you do better, and just try to keep people rotating in that love movement. I invite people. I don't separate people like, nah, what you doing? You can't become, I've been in this thing, I'm a legend in this joke. I ain't trying to hear it. No, 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 no. You got to be humble and act like you just brand new in this thing and you just with everybody else.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
And that's how you keep,
Yeah.
Even with our crew. With our crew, it was the same thing. They had, some days it'd be love, some days it'd be, but that was family. So, but the thing was, no matter what, like I have I'm gonna re-release a documentary I did with a Japanese crew that came to Jersey and they shot it in Zanzibar. And so I got footage of like Luche, everybody getting in and stuff like that. And I told her in the video, I said, this is my crew. This is who I hang with, looking all young and fresh, got they polo joints and this and that, but they were in Zanzibar. And I'd say, yeah, this is how we get down, the Breccias and stuff like that. And I meant that because of the fact that I wanted them to know that as a unit, we're still family and we watch each other's back. And the head of it,
Yeah.
for me, the godfather of the whole thing was Chris Flowers, because he kept us close. He made sure that we dealt with each other, we bonded and we built. And
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
gave us a lot of information. So that was one of the, like the catalysts for me on that tip. But the battles, I mean, I'm not even in that frame of mind, because I always tell people, like, we have to be different because of what people are going through right now. You never know. And if you battle somebody, you don't know how it's going to mess up with their spirit, you know? Even though I was a part of bigger battles, like, what's that, House Dance International, I did
yeah.
that.
House Dancer
And
Giants.
I remember when they interviewed me, I was like, yo, it's not about the battle for me, it's about building and sharing. So if I win or lose, it don't matter to me,
Yeah, that's right.
I'm here to show the art of this thing, and then that's it. I bow out. Only because I've been doing it forever. So for me, it's not like I gotta prove to everybody I'm the best. You know, I keep that for the other cats who want to put that energy out there and this and that. Because there's always gonna be somebody better than you who could do other stuff. So I want to be somebody who can be a teacher and show them a different side of it and build that way. Because to me, it's still on a love movement. You got to know how to share, be able to express
Yeah,
yourself and with energy, and then go from there. So yeah, man, So now this is like what you're seeing now is the next evolution.
yeah.
You know.
That should be. But I seen you get a lot of respect in New York City Club. I seen Ejo give you your props there. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So a lot of cats respect you. Plus, like I said before, you had a very, very unique style, man. And like I was saying, I took one of you. You got one move from somebody, and I'm one of the ones that took one of your moves, the reverse dolphin dive. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
one I
awesome.
seen you did. You perfected that baby. I watched you perfect it, and I was like, yo, that shit's so dope. And I use it even to today, man. I use that. So that's one move I pass on. I always remember you for it. I know you might have got it from somebody else, but still,
Yeah, look, let
you
me tell you something.
perfected it, and I love watching it, watching you kill it.
Well, just what you just said. Yeah, we all got stuff from other people. I don't care who it is. Even the best all got stuff from somebody. Only reason why is I'm a history buff. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Um, I was so intrigued at how Ejo used to spin, right? I said, I want to perfect that, but I need to know where he got it from, because I know he got it from somewhere. So one day, and you could look this up, I looked up these Russian dances, right? Now, don't get it twisted. It was us that did it before they did, right? Black people, us. We were the ones dancing and doing the whole thing. So, but they had these Russian dancers, when they're putting their hands
Yeah,
together and kicking out with their feet and stuff like that. But they would do these spins. I'm gonna find a video and send it to you. And I remember seeing this spin, and I said, wait a minute, that's the same spin that Ito be doing, right?
yeah.
Exactly to a T, right? The ones where he jump up in the air, spin real fast, come down, or doing the spins. So that showed me right there that, okay, everything we've done under the sun has been done before. All it is
Yeah.
that we just adapted to it and changed up the style. We just changed it up and made it our own. So that's why when you see it, it looks different. But it's been done before. That's all it is. It's just a new way of doing it. That's all it is. Every day, I
Yeah.
don't care what you've seen, the dolphin dive, you had lofters that was doing that.
Yeah. That's the next
Like,
thing. Yeah. For our
you know.
style right here, what we do with a lot of the stuff that we do we need to give credit to the lofters?
Well, yeah. Only reason why I gotta say that is because of the fact that we were hip hop kids coming into house, and we were mixing hip hop into house. You see what I mean? So a lot of those things, big up to Basil and all those other dancers, Bravo, who else I can say? Oh, the list is crazy. Louis Key,
Louis Keys, yeah.
yeah, Keys, all those cats, It's so many names I could think of. And sorry, brethren, if I haven't mentioned your name, Chris Flowers. There's tons of them. But yeah, they were the catalyst of a lot of things we were doing because we were dancing with them. So we watched them, started perfecting the movement, and then boom, that's what came out. We just added that other flavor to it and gave it more of a new spin to it. You know,
Yeah.
because if you watch the Lofters, they were just about free flowing and just, you know, smoothing it out, which we still did, but then we would go hard with the loose legs or doing something and, you know, mixing it up. So, or the switching of the feet in house and, you know, stuff like that. So a lot of things, and, you know, I might not be saying a lot of things with the right terms. There's a hip hop and house dictionary. You know, you could go check it out. They got video. So big up to Stretch and Link and all them. They
Yeah,
put
yeah,
it out
that's
there.
right.
If you want to yeah, they got so you can go and get the terminology and with the name of the movement. Because a lot of movement comes from modern jazz, a lot of jazz, a lot of jazz. They got these cats from out of England years ago that they were doing a lot of jazz movement. And I used to say, oh, that's house. But they talk about it. They say, yeah, a lot of this is in house, you know,
Yeah,
house movement.
yeah.
The tap movements and stuff like the spins and drops
Heel
into
toes,
the
yeah,
the
spins,
heel
drops, yeah.
toe. You know, big up to Brian Green for he was like the one of the perfecters of that because he was a tap dancer. So, you know, but yeah, just across the board, you know, we've all done stuff where we adapted different things and just molded into this whole collage of different. But you know, what's good is like I said, you have different people doing different styles or just mimicking this and that,
Yeah.
and just putting a different energy. So as I go forward, like right now, one of the styles that I really enjoy doing is want to say Cruz is the Spider-Man. He came up with the whole style
Yeah,
because
yeah, man.
originally
He killed it, bro. Yeah, they killed him.
he killed it. It's originally when I saw it, I knew he was working on something because I could see him doing it. But I remember where he got it from because it was they were doing it exercise, and I used to go in the parks and they were exercise doing the switching of the hands and stuff like that. So he took that and made his own and created a style out of it, and he was perfecting it and making it real strong and tight. And I respected it. And I remember when we used to just share with each other, he would show me stuff and this and that. So my thing was to try and change it up so it can fit me as a person, you know, to get molded into who I was. So, you know, it'll look different as far as that's concerned. So like I said, and it helps because it keeps house going, you know, the movement. Because we
Yeah.
don't want to get stagnant. Because it was at one point, you'd only see us dancing together because we were the only ones pushing each other because everybody else was just being taught and mimicking everything else. And big up to them. Because regardless of whatever it is, I still want to see people dancing.
Right.
But sometimes I know Idris would sometimes want to dance with me because it was like, yeah, because it only felt good because he knows I was going to push him or other dancers and this and that, you know, when we show up in the club because we want our brains to work, you know, and say, okay, I see what you're working with. Yeah, I see that. I see what you're doing and, you know, just mixing it up. So, yeah, it was, like I say, just going forward is just trying to evolve as I go forward with the movement. But with that, and you have to make sure you eat right, take care of your body. You know,
Absolutely.
you always got to do that. And I stay on a regimen. Shoot, after this, I'm gonna hit the gym. So that is like, you know, I always stay on it because you want to prevent injuries. Like a lot of people don't know, like if we were flipping, we did it so smooth because you want to protect your knees. Like we didn't want to land and like do stuff like that because you're banging up your knees. You got to preserve them things. So it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
thinking light. That's why I tell people I'm so smooth because I want to keep doing this. You know,
Yeah,
I
for
want to
long as
keep.
possible. Yeah, that's good, good.
Yeah, you want as long as possible. I want to keep because it's a good relief when you're going through stuff. House is good to release. You know, it saved a lot of people going through drugs or different things, and they just need a release. You know, I feel like God blessed us with this good music because you got music that don't feed your soul, and this is one of the music that does it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
so
man. I mean, and smooth is something that's definitely should be like there's one point in time a lot of cats over here were killing the beat, but they smoothed it out now, which is good. because
True.
a lot of the you know, our peers came over and said, you know, take your time, listen to the music. You know, and I
Right.
guess when they first seen it dance to themselves, they thought we was moving extra fast, but actually
Right.
we wasn't. And at one particular time, we were all started off moving fast until, like I said, we got up into
Mhm.
like Shelter or something like that, or like a Chris Flowers. We see somebody like that, Earl,
Mhm.
and they had it a lot smoothed out, and then we would smooth our steps out a little bit more. You know what I
True.
mean? So it's always good, man, to start off a little bit slow, man. Just get into the music and get
Uh-huh.
into the movement. Yeah, then.
Well, just to even embark on what you just said, one of the things I learned, and like I said, that was one of the things, big up to Chris Flowers for teaching me instrumentation, even though I was making music, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a story because I used to live in his house. He had a house where he used to do these things called an attic session. And I had a room, and I actually used to make music in the house. But every Sunday, he would take me upstairs and play records and to see how I feel about it, or just the instrumentation, the sounds, different things, or well, this artist approached the music differently. And then I would listen to it and say, okay, I see what they were doing. And it would inspire me. So one of the things that inspired me a lot was just that we, as dancers, we listened to the music and we took different notes. Like some people would listen to the drum, some people would listen to the bass, some people would listen to the keys. So it
Yeah.
would take them to different joints, so you would see different movements. So if the bass was going like rum, 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 going all over the place, then you would see the person moving to that bass, or the drums, footwork. Like big up to my brother Shannon, he has this thing on rhythmatics that with his feet he matches the music to a T. Like to me, it's like beautiful to watch because he has that. It's like a gift. God has bestowed that upon that brother. Like
Yeah.
he'll be in the beat, drop it, boom, 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 and he'll catch it. And it's because it just shows that we care about the music that much and we listen. A lot of cats, I was finding that they weren't listening to the music. So they were
Yeah.
just, it was like they was on a whole different BPM. And I said, what are they listening to? Because from what I'm hearing, and there's a break about to come. So I can feel it coming. So I'm like, what pace are they moving at? You know? So it just shows you when you have dancers who really care about the energy of the music that they're listening to and the vibe, and just getting their mind into it. And that to me would make you even a better dancer. Because if you listen
Yeah.
to the music,
Absolutely.
you
Hmm.
care about the music you're listening to, the music will bring out moves that you never even thought of. So, for me, I've done so many different stuff. I was like, heck, I can't remember all that stuff. But then, once in a while it'll pop up and go, oh shoot, oh yeah, I remember that. I moved the leg this way instead of this way, this and that. But it's all dependent on the music and the instrumentation. And then you always found the best dancers who were doing it is because they cared about what they were listening to. Like they
Yeah.
took the time to really absorb it and let it become their own. And that was the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you were right about
Yeah. Big thing we talk about right now. I think I talked with. I was talking with someone about it, and it was the DJs. I was
okay.
talking to Brooklyn Terry about it actually. I was talking to Brooklyn
Okay.
Terry, and we were like,
Really?
yeah, we were like, okay, man, the DJ's got to come with something good nowadays too for the dancers.
Right.
I mean, right now we're on COVID-19, so we're on lockdown right now, and the DJs are coming out online and stuff like that. But we were worried about the music that was being played, man. That we were thinking that maybe even DJing, a lot of stuff is not
I
being
put it to you.
played properly, or like we're not getting it like we should as for the dancers.
Okay. And you know why? It's because, well, one thing, love y'all. And my this thing with safe house music they will play because they want to cater to a certain people. Saying, all right, you know what? For me to get them, and it became a thing in Jersey where it was safe. New York never did that. New York always played you, gave you new stuff, always wasn't it? And you got DJs in Jersey that play new stuff also. So I'm not gonna just count them out like that. But the thing was, growing up in house, and you know this,
Yeah.
any new music that we would get getting it, you know. It's just that there'll always be that one segment where they'll play classics, stuff like that, which and I appreciate. I'm always gonna appreciate that. But where my brain is right now, for me to be forward thinking, I need to hear new stuff.
New
That's
stuff.
why I
Yeah.
venture out into different spots, listen to different DJs. Big up to my friend Q. He's a dancer DJ also. He has a label. Joey's a part with that crew, and they make different types of music, so it makes you move different. You
Yeah.
know, so if you want, and then there's people that I know in the business of music because I make music. So with that, you have to be forward thinking. You can't just keep making the same vibe over and over and over and
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over. You got to give me something fresh, something new. And then for me, because I'm a dancer, I always say, don't be a dancer and making music or playing music and you ain't moving the crowd. It's like, because to me, that's like a bad look. I always say the best DJs for me was the ones who boogie on the floor with us, you know? So I think nowadays, because of the technology and everything that is, anybody and everybody could be a DJ.
Yeah. That's
Back
right.
then, it was more difficult to get the equipment and do everything, and you had to really study your craft and make sure you were good at what you were doing. And then you have to sometimes wait till somebody certify you. Be like, okay, you did now. We feeling you, your energy. You couldn't just come out. Nowadays, nobody don't care. They're just like, all
Yeah. Yeah. It's new.
right,
Yeah. New
fine.
way of how to do stuff nowadays. So a little crazy. A little
And
crazy.
it's a lot of egos. It's a lot of egos. And to me, house is not about ego. It's about bringing people together.
Yeah.
So that is where the issue comes in, because it's like, for me, I would say get rid of the ego and just focus on playing good and new, fresh music. So me going forward, that's how I am. I'm
Yeah.
like, when I deal with DJs, I'll be like, look, that's cool, but I want to hear, something fresh, something new. Even
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
took something old and make it and something to new, but at least it's something new that we never heard before. So give me that, because right
Well,
now,
that was that. Frankie Knuckles was like that too. He didn't really want to play anything old. He always wanted to
yeah,
keep
yeah,
moving forward. Because I remember he played over here in Europe. I got a chance to see him play over here one time. Uh,
uh-huh.
in Hanover. Where was it? I think it was in Hanover. Anyway, somewhere over here in Germany, and I got a chance to hear him play. And I was like so ready to hear everything he played in the inside Zanzibar, right? I was like, yeah, I'm
Right,
hoping I'm gonna come to see him play the stuff that he played in Zanzibar. When
uh-huh.
he got there, he played all new music, and it was just so new for me. I was just like, oh man, and I just couldn't get,
Mhm,
it took me a while. Then I had to listen to his interview after that
mhm.
to find out that he's playing the newest music that's out, and he's not really stuck in the past, or he's not really, you know what I mean, lingering around in
Right.
the past. And a lot of people was upset, like of course from Jersey, stuff like that, that they
Yeah,
wanted to hear the
Jersey.
classics, and he
Yeah,
didn't want to play.
Jersey's
He
about
didn't want to play the classics. He said he's
and
moving
I
forward. A
couldn't
lot of
blame
people
him. I'm
complain.
like, yo, I was like, and this is one thing I always tell people: it's always a time and place for it. Like for me, if I'm gonna listen to classics, just give it to me all night, and I'm here for that. But otherwise, that if I'm going out and I want it, to me, what made me get into house so hard is because it was new and fresh, and I couldn't wait to hear the next record they were gonna break. This is the
Right,
reason why I used to buy records for my DJ friend, because I used to sit down and say, "Yo, they ain't playing this." I remember. I'll give you a story. We used to do parties in the hood, right? And he would call me. I say, "Look, I got this new record." It was a record called Salsa House, right? And it was brand new. I know nobody else was playing it just yet. And I was just like, "Yo, play this." And all of a sudden, you see everybody like, "Oh, shoot, they was up," right? Because it was a new record. It was fresh. Nobody
yeah,
heard it, but it was a good party record. And I said, that's how DJs have to be. They just need to be able to get those records and play what I term that David Story from New York, who has events. He calls it the B side. They play the one side of the record, but they don't play the flip. Play the flip of the record. Give us something different, because
right,
that version might be the next hit record or the next vibe or whatever, this and that. People need to get into more doing that kind of stuff. And then, like
yeah,
I said, there's DJs that do it. But then what happens is you have to be a DJ that has that bravado to sit down and say, you know what? I'm gonna play this record with that vigor, and I'm gonna give it to you, and y'all gonna love it, and be confident about it. But when you're scared and you're like, uh-oh, see them in their chairs sitting down if they're at the festival or this and that, I gotta get them up. So let me put this record that they know already. So it's like systematic. I think is because they've been doing that for so long, people got trained in a certain way. And that and actually makes you lazy. Only because of the fact that if they got trained in a certain way, so now all of a sudden now they're just chilling out and they listening to the music. Oh, I heard this record. I remember. They sit back and like, oh, I remember when this record was on and what it did for me and this and that. But you ain't really moving to it because you know the record already. No, give them something new that's gonna make them like, ooh, I ain't never heard this before. It's making me feel something. Make my foot twitch or move my
Right.
backside a little different or get my head moving and nodding in a different way. When you do that, then you're progressing the scene and giving them a different energy. And
Right.
that's what they need to, to keep a consistency. But sometimes, like I said, we could talk about this all day long and people ain't gonna some people will do it, some people won't. So what I did was I'm gonna take the reins and hone in on it. And whatever they don't do, I'm gonna do it. So if I gotta push that movement and get it going, because like I said, these kids, I've heard them say this. I've been to festivals. I'm really connected to the younger crowd, so I know they've said this before. I love this music, but some of them don't want to party with their parents, right? This is the whole thing. So what happens is this: they don't want to party with their parents, but if they do, they want to hear something new, like the
Right.
Afro or something just new that gives them a different energy and push them in a different direction. So with that, you gotta, you don't want to lose your connection to that crowd, and that's why I
Yeah.
stay.
And we had new stuff too that was always playing, but yet we had the older crowd. And the DJs managed to somehow break it up where we had the new music playing early. We was up in
True.
there. Then about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, DJ switch or the music switched up to the classics. That way everybody was able to groove. And I think there's something DJs got to be very I think the DJs out here right now have to be very, very cognizant of what's going on and just try to play the new stuff, like you said, and also be aware of the older crowd too that's there, which is hard to do, but still a balance.
It's like a balance. Because to me, I always say like this. One thing I learned is you want to get that crowd, fine. Sneak a old joint and put it under a new joint. So they get
Exactly.
familiar with they know the old joint, but now you've been playing this other one, and it just retrains their way of thinking. Like, oh shoot, but this is new. How they approached it.
Yeah.
That's why I like how Ian Friday does his remixes of stuff because he'll take something old, but then flip it and make the record sound different and this and that, and it's like a brand new record. It's different, if it has vocals or anything like that, and he'll give it a different energy. And I appreciate that because then it's something new. But what I'm on right now, I'm a person that likes to be on top of the beat. I don't want to be under. I want to be on top of it. I want to be riding with it. Like, yeah, let's go. We're working together. So I want something that's going to keep pushing. I'm not saying you don't mellow people out with different vibes of music, but I want to be able to say, all right, give them music that is going to, get their blood working, man.
Right.
That's why when I come in a party, I'm always like, let's go. That's my term. Like, let's go. Stop playing. Don't come in this circle and no, I ain't playing. Look,
Come down.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because I used to go and I'll be making music and then go to the club. I used to do that with Funk Box, and people used to say, "Why you always coming late?" I said, "Because I'm doing stuff at
Yeah.
home before I come to the club, and I would come at a certain time." But Touch always knew that. So Touch, I would look at Touch, "Yo, I'm here," and he knew. He said, "Oh, it's on now. Gotta start playing something," because I knew how I was always gonna come with that energy, and then we get it in. And we
Yeah.
start boom, 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 boom. And in the club, you could feel it just moving. And I knew God blessed me with that gift to be able to keep that going. So I was just like, all right. So I always say for me, I always wanted to make sure that when people go to parties that they had a good experience and they felt the music and the energy and everything that's happening. So that was my main thing. So going forward now, that's things that I'm setting into motion. I will give you a world premiere and let you know what it is because you've seen
Yeah.
a lot of stuff coming
Yeah.
from me now. Once we get everything in the works, which will be soon, I'll drop a gem on you, and you'll be the. I actually give you the first one to let you know, so you can see what's gonna look
Okay.
like.
All
But
right. Yo,
that's gonna be.
listen. I know the reason why. It's Ezra's birthday, man. That's the reason why he's not here.
Oh, let the brethren come. We could have celebrated his birthday and tell him a happy birthday, man.
So it's
Um,
Ezra's birthday.
okay. All right, so you know, I'm gonna link the brethren when we done and tell him happy birthday. I was like, I didn't
So
know. I totally didn't know, and I probably would have seen it when I went back on Facebook. But I figured,
yeah,
it's cool.
I'm looking. Then it popped up that he's on. It's his birthday. So big shout out to Ezra. Happy birthday, brother.
Big up to you, Gretchen. Happy birthday. He's like one of my biggest fans. I'm a fan of his too. He don't know it because he be bringing stuff out of me too when we boogie. So yeah.
Woo!
So, but that's my brethren for life. I love him to death. Yeah, for real,
Yeah,
for real.
you doing a lot of projects right now. You have a project that you're doing with clothing. Could you talk a little bit about that real quick?
Okay,
Uh,
so right now I'm with a
Dance and
collective.
clothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. So I'm with a collective called Fashion Meets Dance, and basically that was always my thing. Because house music, there was fashion,
Yeah.
the music, the energy, the people. So I kept that thing going because to me, that's what made the scene fun to see all
Yeah.
these different colors of people and people in clothes and this and that. So I was like, well, we got to stop that. I'm going to keep it going. So I just kept repping it hard. My people that was working with when I used to run, I used to be doing runway model for like 5 years, right? And it was a stylist that came to me and he said, yo, he's like, you're dope. He said, you should start doing something like this because he already had the idea. And I said, okay. But at the time, I wasn't ready to really embark on it just yet. But then he just said, no, stop playing. I'm going to put you in this thing. So he got me into it. And I said, yeah, this is going to work. So then I just really, God blessed me with the info, what I can do with it and how to springboard it.
Right.
So where I was co-creator, now I'm one of those head dudes is really pushing the movement and really getting behind it. So what we're doing now is we're doing episodes of the show Fashion Meets Dance. Our world premiere one today. The next one is with my brethren from Cali named
Yeah.
DJ Chosen. So he's out there, and I'm basically what the brethren is doing. How you doing? So basically what it is he's he has this he DJs, but he has this thing where he makes shea butter. A lot of the house people, house people crowd and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they have it and they use it, and it's real good. He got different scents, all kinds of stuff. So I was like, yo, man, I like this stuff, man. I want more people to know about it. So I was in Guyana at the time, right? And I remember I told the brethren, I said, listen, let me do a commercial for you, little small thing, right? So he said, all right, cool, cool, cool. So I was in Guyana, I was in the bush, did my little thing with some dub music behind it, this and that. So a lot of people saw that, and he said people were watching it and they were buying it. And I was like, oh, shoot, let me do another one. So where I flip Fashion Meets Dance is I go and I say, if you're a person that's part of house music and you have a business, I'm gonna promote that because we're in COVID right now, and everybody got to think a different way of how to push each other.
Right.
Because a lot of the businesses right now, like the storefronts, they're closing them down because either they ain't got the money or people are just doing a different way of buying stuff. So with fashion, it was a big thing because like they would do what they call sustainable fashion week, right? So they put on these fashion shows in stores, and I was a part of that and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, you know what? These are dope clothes. I want people to see this. So I said, you know what? They need their own segment because, these are people who are struggling or they're trying to stay on
Right.
board. So let's push them. So I said, let me springboard that. And really, it doesn't matter. If you're a dancer and you got a business, I'm pushing it. If you're a person who got a storefront and you were doing something, look, I got people who got warehouses because they lost their storefronts. And I would go in there getting clothes, but the dope stuff just to keep them in business. I said, yo, I'm gonna do something for you because
Right.
this is dope stuff. I want them to see it. You know, I'm gonna take you into places where you go into people's workshops where they're working and doing this stuff, and to see what they're wearing and what we're wearing. So it's gonna be a journey, and I'm doing artists also, singers, all that, and just let them talk about their whole deal with fashion and how it links with the
Yeah,
movement of house music and dance and stuff like that, and just promote and give people information. So this one was the House of Bav, BAV, Born Again Vintage. So they do like stuff that I'm wearing now. I don't know if you can see it.
yeah, yeah. Nice, dope,
And
man. Dope.
yeah, it's dope, right? Yo, the clothes is dope, man. I've been rocking stuff. People mad at me since yesterday. I was rocking stuff. They was like, "Yo, man, where you get that from?" It's like it's my brother. He could make you a piece or something if you want, but you gotta talk to him. But he'll definitely do it. But this
Sorry,
one
my
is
brother.
one.
You got to get your own. You got
You
to
gotta get
get your
your
own.
own, brother. That's it. But the whole thing
Yeah,
was, I was just like, I wanted him to be put on a different platform because I said the clothes is dope and the
right.
house crowd needs to see that. And then the sister from New York, which is Seiku's better half, she has her clothing line. I was wearing some of her stuff like in the video that I did. She had a piece called High Rise, and then she got some other pieces that I'm gonna wear. So just people that I know that I
Yeah,
got a lot of love for. I've been pushing their stuff because I want people to see it and be like,
yeah,
yo, this is dope. Y'all should check it out, wear the stuff and this and that, and keep them going. And that's love
yeah,
from me just to show that and keep the content going and different things and just even you know.
yeah. This
Hopefully I could get
platform.
out to you. I'm gonna go out there, take a camera, and be like, "Yo, talk, Gretchen. Let's let the people
Yeah,
know."
let's get yeah. When this thing is over, man, I hope everybody circulates a little bit more, and I hope more people come over here to Germany. I was trying to get everybody to come to Amsterdam in
That's
February,
one of the missions,
and I
Gretchen.
think that was the best house retreat that you could have in the winter was in
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam because you can come out there, you can smoke, you can chill,
Yeah,
you can get good vibes, and you can also be part of the house community that's growing over here in Europe. And I thought that
yeah,
was it was a good vacation to come to for house heads who want to do a house retreat in the winter. And it's
true.
like 1 week over here in Amsterdam. You would love it, man. That's all you need is a week, and it's not so expensive as
Mm-hmm.
people think. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
it's
just
not.
like yeah, just like staying. You just get the
Mm-hmm.
aircraft. If you get it a year out, the price is cheaper. I don't know how it's going to be now, but we got to wait till all this is over with. Hopefully, we all back moving and grooving again. But
True,
yo, do
true,
you have
true.
any shout outs you want to give? Because we're coming up on the hour right now. So
Oh, okay. Uh, Look, well, it's not specific. I just want to just big up everybody, all my house family. You know, God bless y'all. I love y'all for supporting me and keep watching what I do and just keep it going, man. That's basically it. You know, but basically, I said my immediate like people I know like you, Chris Flowers, everybody in the scene, just people who inspired me, my old teacher, Candace Holmes, all those people, my family, anybody, but God just keeping me and guiding me while I go through all this stuff and while I'm doing it. But like I said, I do this for the love, and I want to make sure that as I go forward, as I build even my own business, that we stick together, rock together, and build together. That's the main thing, you know.
yeah, yo, thank you for chopping it up with me, man. We got to do this again. So I want to hear
Sure.
some stories. So
Now
we're
I
gonna, we
got
gonna
some
talk
stories,
again.
but
So next time we're gonna get some stories, some club stories going on.
yeah, I got some. So
All
I'll tell
right.
you some stories where when performance stories. Like
Okay.
I can tell you. Well, I'll give you this real quick. A real quick, Jeff. I used to dance for Colonel Abrams, right?
Yeah.
And I remember
Legendary. Oh.
legendary Colonel Abrams, and we did 3 nights. First time ever done. I did three. Maybe I don't know. Somebody else may did, but I know I did it. One night in a limo and did all 3 joints.
Ooh.
Never, but for me, that was epic for me. You going from one party to the next to perform to the next to perform. I was like, wow, that was crazy. But like stuff like that, I seen it. So it's a really cool thing, man.
All right.
But I give you a
Definitely.
whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. We gonna do this again. Sit down. I'm gonna get some
Yeah,
stories from you, man.
I'm gonna chop it up with you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you a whole bunch of stuff for
Yo,
real.
so shout out to you, brother. Rudebwoy Ecco was in the building. Yo, we would check with him again. So yo, just stay
Yeah,
tuned.
love y'all.
Yeah,
Love y'all. Love y'all for real.
yeah.
To the
Thank you,
heart.
man,
God
for
bless you.
supporting, man. Yeah, we're
True,
gonna
true,
keep
true.
it going, and we love the culture here. This is how much we in this thing, man. So you know,
True.
we're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep, you know, I'm gonna network with you, man. Make sure everything is good, and yeah, we're gonna build this house love over here, man. Thank you once again.
True.
Peace. You have a great day, man.
Yeah. Respect. Yeah, man. For real.
Respect.
All right. I'll talk to you. All right, cool.
Peace.
Peace, Bridget.